I'm glad you're here. Stay with me until the end, and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from. My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez. I'm 38 years old. I'm a pediatric oncologist at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City. I've dedicated my life to saving children with cancer. I've watched kids fight, survive, and sometimes slip away. I've held parents' hands through the worst moments of their lives. I've learned that hope is the most powerful medicine there is. 10 years ago, I was a different person. I was a 28-year-old medical resident, engaged to the man I loved, planning the wedding of my dreams. I had a sister named Camila who was my best friend, my confidant, the person I trusted more than anyone in the world. And then Camila married my fiancé. She didn't just marry him. She was seeing him behind my back for 6 months. She was the maid of honor at my wedding shower. She helped me pick out my dress. She stood beside me while I tried on veils and tasted cakes and dreamed about the life I was going to have. All while she was sleeping with him. I didn't know. I didn't suspect. I trusted them both. And when I found out, when I walked into his apartment and found them together, my world shattered into pieces I didn't know how to put back together. I lost my sister. I lost my fiancé. I lost the future I had been building. 10 years later, Camila's daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. She was 7 years old. Her name was Sophia. She was beautiful. She was innocent. She was dying. And I was the only person in the world who could save her. Before I tell you what I decided, before I tell you whether I saved the daughter of the sister who destroyed my life, I need you to understand what Camila did to me. I need you to understand the depth of her betrayal. I need you to understand the woman I was before she broke me, and the woman I became after. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved with your whole heart, drop a broken heart in the comments. And tell me where you're watching from. I want to know who else has been where I was. Let me take you back. To a small apartment in Brooklyn. To a woman who thought she had everything. To the night I learned that the people you love most can hurt you worst of all. I grew up in a family of 3 girls. I was the middle child. Camila was the oldest. She was beautiful, charismatic, the kind of person who walked into a room and everyone turned to look. I was the quiet one. The one who studied. The one who stayed in the library on Friday nights. The one who was going to be a doctor. Camila and I were close. Closer than sisters usually are. She protected me when we were kids. She stood up for me when I was too shy to stand up for myself. She told me I was going to be someone, that I was going to change the world, that she was proud to be my sister. I believed her. I believed everything she said. I met Daniel when I was 25. He was a surgical resident at the same hospital where I was doing my rotation. He was tall, dark-haired, with a smile that made my heart stop. He was smart. He was ambitious. He was the kind of man who made you feel like you were the only person in the room. Camila approved. She was the one who pushed me to say yes when he asked me out. She was the one who helped me pick out my dress for our first date. She was the one who said, "He's the one, Elena. Don't let him go." I didn't. We got engaged a year later. He proposed on the roof of my apartment building, under the stars. I said yes before he finished the sentence. Camila was my maid of honor. She planned the bridal shower. She helped me choose the venue. She cried with me when we found the perfect dress. She was there for everything. I didn't know that she was also there for Daniel. In ways I couldn't imagine. The discovery was an accident. I was on call at the hospital. I finished early. I decided to surprise Daniel at his apartment. I had a key. I let myself in. I heard them before I saw them. The sound of laughter. The sound of voices I knew better than my own. I walked into the bedroom. Camila was in his bed. Daniel was beside her. They didn't hear me at first. They were too busy laughing, touching, being the thing I had suspected but never wanted to believe. Camila? I said. She looked up. Her face went white. Her eyes went wide. Elena, she said. I can explain. I looked at Daniel. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me. His face was empty. The face of a man who had been caught but didn't know how to be sorry. How long? I asked. Camila started to cry. 6 months. It's been 6 months. I stared at her. 6 months. 6 months of her standing beside me at my wedding shower. 6 months of her helping me pick out my dress. 6 months of her telling me that Daniel was the one, that I was lucky, that I deserved to be happy. 6 months of lies. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't throw things. I turned around. I walked out. I got in my car. I drove to my apartment. I sat on the floor and I didn't move for 3 hours. The wedding was called off. Daniel didn't call. Camila didn't call. They didn't apologize. They didn't explain. They just disappeared. I learned what happened from my mother. She called me a week later. Her voice was strange. Careful. Elena, she said. Camila and Daniel are getting married. I sat at my kitchen table. I looked at the wall. I didn't say anything. They're moving to Miami. Daniel got a job there. Camila is going with him. Mom, I said. I can't talk about this. I know. I know. I just thought you should know. I hung up. I sat at the table. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat. Camila and Daniel got married 3 months later. I wasn't invited. My parents went. They said they didn't know what to do. They said they loved us both. They said they didn't want to take sides. They took sides. They took her side. They always took her side. I threw myself into my work. I finished my residency. I started my fellowship in pediatric oncology. I worked 80-hour weeks. I slept in the hospital. I ate cafeteria food. I didn't think about Camila. I didn't think about Daniel. I didn't think about the life I had lost. I thought about my patients. The kids who were fighting for their lives. The parents who held their hands. The moments when hope was all we had. I became good at my job. Better than good. I was the doctor who could deliver bad news with kindness. The doctor who could hold a child's hand and make them feel safe. The doctor who never gave up, even when the odds were impossible. I didn't date. I didn't make friends. I didn't go home for the holidays. I worked. I worked because if I stopped working, I would have to think. And if I thought, I would remember. And if I remembered, I would break. The years passed. I moved to New York. I joined the faculty at Sloan Kettering. I became the doctor that other doctors sent their toughest cases to. I built a reputation. I built a life. I built something that was mine. I didn't think about Camila. I didn't think about Daniel. I didn't think about the sister who had taken everything from me. But sometimes, late at night, when the hospital was quiet and the city was dark, I would think about the woman I had been. The woman who trusted. The woman who believed. The woman who was broken. I would think about what I would say to Camila if I ever saw her again. The words I had rehearsed in my head 1,000 times. The anger I had carried for years. I didn't think it would ever happen. I didn't think I would ever see her again. I was wrong. The call came on a Tuesday. I was in my office, reviewing a patient's chart, when my phone rang. The caller ID said Miami. I almost didn't answer. Dr. Vasquez, I said. Elena. The voice was familiar. It was a voice I hadn't heard in 10 years. It was my mother. Mom, What's wrong? She was quiet for a moment. I heard her breathing. I heard her trying to find words. It's Sophia, she said. Camila's daughter. She's sick. She's very sick. They say it's leukemia. They say she needs a bone marrow transplant. They tested the family. No one is a match. No one except, she stopped. No one except me, I said. They called me. They asked if there was anyone else. I told them about you. I'm sorry, Elena. I didn't know what else to do. I sat at my desk. I looked at the window. The city was bright with sun. The buildings were tall. The sky was blue. How old is she? I asked. She's 7. She's beautiful, Elena. She looks like you. She has your eyes. I closed my eyes. I thought about Camila. About the sister who had betrayed me. About the daughter who was innocent. About the child who was dying. I'll think about it, I said. I'll call you back. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Sophia. A 7-year-old girl I had never met. A child who was dying. A child who needed me to live. I thought about Camila. About the years of silence. About the betrayal that had destroyed our family. About the sister who had never apologized, never explained, never tried to make things right. I thought about Daniel. About the man who had promised to love me. About the man who had chosen my sister instead. About the man who was now watching his daughter die. I thought about Sophia. A child who had done nothing wrong. A child who was innocent. A child who deserved a chance to live. I was a doctor. I had spent 10 years saving children. I had never turned anyone away. I had never refused to help because of who their parents were. But this was different. This was personal. This was the sister who had broken me. This was the man who had betrayed me. This was the family that had chosen her over me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to help them. I didn't know if I was being kind or cruel, generous or vengeful. But I knew one thing. I was not the woman who had walked into Daniel's apartment 10 years ago. I was not the woman who sat on the floor of her apartment, wondering if she would ever be anything. I was not the woman who let betrayal define her. I was someone else. Someone stronger. Someone who had built something from nothing. Someone who held the power to save a child's life. And I had to decide what kind of person I wanted to be. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the call from Camila, the moment I heard her voice for the first time in 10 years, the words she said, that's the part of this story that changed everything. That's the part that taught me what it really means to be family. If you've ever had to choose between revenge and redemption, type choice in the comments. Let me know you understand. I didn't call my mother back right away. I needed time. I needed to think. I needed to decide if I was ready to hear what Camila had to say. 3 days passed. I went to work. I saw my patients. I reviewed charts. I stood in the operating room during a bone marrow harvest and watched the apheresis machine do its slow, methodical work. A donor, a young woman, maybe 25, was lying on the bed, watching TV, while her cells were collected in a bag that would go to a stranger across the country. She was someone's match. Someone's only hope. She didn't know the person on the other end. She might never meet them. But she was saving a life. I thought about that. That night, I went home and opened my laptop. I searched for Camila's name. I found photographs. Social media profiles. Pictures of her wedding, her life, her daughter. Sophia was beautiful. She had dark hair and big brown eyes. She was smiling in every picture. She looked like Camila. She looked like me. She looked like the family I had left behind. I saw photographs of Camila and Daniel. They looked happy. They looked like they had built a life together. The life that was supposed to be mine. I should have felt anger. I should have felt bitterness. I should have felt the old pain rising up, the betrayal that had taken me years to bury. But I didn't. I felt something else. Something I didn't have a name for. Something that was almost like sadness. I closed my laptop. I sat in the dark. I thought about Sophia. About the little girl who was fighting for her life. About the parents who were watching her slip away. About the sister who had destroyed me, who was now facing the worst thing a parent could face. I picked up my phone. I called my mother. "Tell Camila to call me," I said. "I'll talk to her." The call came the next day. I was in my office, between patients. My phone rang. The caller ID said Miami. I answered. "Elena?" Her voice was different. Softer. Smaller. The voice of someone who had been carrying something heavy for a very long time. "Camila," I said. She was quiet for a moment. I heard her breathing. I heard her trying to find words. "I know you don't want to talk to me," she said. "I know you have every reason to hang up. But I need to ask you something. I need to ask you to save my daughter." I didn't say anything. I waited. "She's 7 years old, Elena. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's the best thing I've ever done. And she's dying. The doctors say she needs a transplant. They tested everyone. No one is a match. No one except," she stopped. Her voice broke. "No one except me," I said. "Yes. They found you in the registry. You signed up years ago. They didn't know you were my sister. They didn't know," she stopped again. "They called me. They said there was a match. They gave me your name. I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was a mistake. But it's not. It's you. You're the only one who can save her." I sat at my desk. I looked at the window. The city was bright with sun. The buildings were tall. The sky was blue. "You want me to donate my bone marrow to your daughter," I said. "I want you to save her life. I know I don't have the right to ask. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I'm asking anyway. I'm asking because she's innocent. She didn't do anything wrong. She doesn't know about what happened between us. She doesn't know that her mother," her voice cracked. "She doesn't know that I was the one who broke our family. She just knows that she's sick. She just knows that she wants to live." I was quiet. I thought about the woman on the other end of the line. The sister who had betrayed me. The mother who was begging for her child's life. "Why didn't you ever apologize?" I asked. 10 years. You never called. You never wrote. You never said you were sorry. Why?" She was quiet for a long time. I heard her breathing. I heard her crying. "Because I was ashamed," she said. "Because I knew what I did was unforgivable. Because I didn't know how to face you. Because I thought if I stayed away, you would heal. I thought if I disappeared, you would forget. I thought I was doing you a favor." "You were doing yourself a favor," I said. "You didn't want to face what you did. You didn't want to see the damage you caused. You didn't want to be the villain in your own story." "You're right," she said. "You're right. I was a coward. I am a coward. I've spent 10 years telling myself that you were better off without me. That you had moved on. That you didn't need me. But I was lying. I was lying to myself. I was lying to everyone." She stopped. I heard her take a breath. "I'm sorry, Elena," she said. "I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the years I took from you. I'm sorry for breaking your heart. I'm sorry for breaking our family. I'm sorry for everything." I sat at my desk. I looked at the window. The sun was setting. The city was golden pink and orange. The buildings were bright against the darkening sky. "I'll think about it," I said. "I'm not promising anything. But I'll think about it." "Thank you," she said. "Thank you, Elena. That's all I can ask." I hung up. I sat in my office. I looked at the photographs on my desk. My patients. My colleagues. My life. I thought about the sister I had lost. The sister who had been my best friend. The sister who had betrayed me. The sister who was now begging me to save her child. I thought about Sophia. A 7-year-old girl who had done nothing wrong. A child who was dying. A child who needed me to live. I was a doctor. I had spent 10 years saving children. I had never turned anyone away. I had never refused to help because of who their parents were. But this was different. This was personal. This was the sister who had broken me. This was the family that had chosen her over me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to help them. I didn't know if I was being kind or cruel, generous or vengeful. But I knew that I needed to see her. I needed to look her in the eyes. I needed to see the woman she had become. I needed to see the child who was dying. I flew to Miami the next weekend. I didn't tell Camila I was coming. I didn't want her to prepare. I didn't want her to perform. I wanted to see her. The real her. The sister I had lost. The hospital was called Jackson Memorial. It was a large building on the edge of the city, surrounded by palm trees and blue sky. The parking lot was full. The entrance was busy. The kind of busy that comes from a place where people are fighting for their lives. I gave my name at the front desk. I said I was there to see Sofia Vasquez. They didn't ask who I was. They didn't know that I was the aunt who had never met her. They just gave me a visitor's badge and pointed me to the elevator. The pediatric oncology unit was on the 4th floor. The walls were painted with murals of animals and trees. The nurses wore colorful scrubs. The children played in the hallways, their 4 poles trailing behind them like loyal pets. I walked to room 412. The door was open. I could see inside. There was a bed. A little girl in the bed. She was thin. Her head was wrapped in a scarf. Her face was pale. She was watching cartoons on a tablet, her eyes fixed on the screen, her lips moving as she hummed along to the theme song. Beside her, in a chair, was Camila. She looked older. Her hair was shorter. Her face was lined. She was wearing a sweater that was too big for her, jeans that were worn at the knees. "I'm going to try," I said. "I'm going to do everything I can." Camila and I walked to the cafeteria. We sat at a table by the window. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink and purple. The hospital was quiet. "I didn't think you would come," she said. "I didn't think you would want to see her." "I didn't know if I wanted to," I said. "But I needed to. I needed to see her. I needed to see you." She looked at her hands. They were shaking. "I'm sorry," she said. "I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for what I did to you. I'm sorry for the years I took from you. I'm sorry for breaking our family. I'm sorry for being a coward. I'm sorry for not apologizing sooner. I'm sorry for—" "Stop," I said. "I didn't come here to hear you apologize. I came here to see Sophia. I came here to decide if I was going to save her life." She nodded. She wiped her eyes. "She's a good kid," she said. "She's kind. She's brave. She doesn't complain. Even when the chemo makes her sick. Even when she's tired. Even when she's scared. She doesn't complain." "She sounds like you," I said. "When we were kids. You were brave. You were strong. You never complained." Camila looked at me. Her eyes were wet. I was jealous of you, she said. When we were growing up. I was so jealous. You were the smart one. The one who was going to be someone. The one who was going to change the world. And I was just the pretty one. The one who didn't have a future. You had a future, I said. You could have had anything you wanted. You didn't have to take what was mine. I know, she said. I know. And I've spent 10 years regretting it. Every day. Every night. Every time I looked at Daniel. Every time I looked at Sophia. I thought about you. I thought about what I did. I thought about the sister I lost. She looked at me. Her face was the face of someone who had been carrying something for a very long time. I don't expect you to forgive me, she said. I don't expect anything from you. But I need you to know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the person I was. I'm sorry for the sister I could have been. I looked at her. At the sister who had betrayed me. At the mother who was begging for her child's life. At the woman who was sitting across from me, crying, asking for something I had spent 10 years believing I would never give her. I'll do it, I said. I'll donate. I'll save Sophia's life. She stared at me. Her face was confused. Her eyes were wide. Why, she asked. Why would you do that? After what I did to you. Because I'm not you, I said. Because I don't let children die when I can save them. Because I don't punish innocent people for the sins of their parents. Because I'm not the person who holds on to anger for 10 years and lets it destroy everything. Because I want to be free. She started to cry. She put her face in her hands. Her shoulders shook. Thank you, she said. Thank you, Elena. I don't deserve. You don't, I said. But Sophia does. She deserves a chance to live. She deserves a future. She deserves to grow up, to fall in love, to have children of her own. And I'm going to give her that chance. She looked at me. Her face was wet. Her eyes were red. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it up to you, she said. I'll never stop being sorry. I'll never stop trying to be better. I'll never stop being grateful. I looked at her. At the sister who had broken me. At the sister who was trying to be someone else. Then show me, I said. Show me with time. Show me with actions. Show me that you're not the same person who betrayed me. Show me that you're trying to be better. She nodded. She wiped her face. She looked at me. I will, she said. Every day. For the rest of my life. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the donation, the transplant, the moment I saw Sophia after the surgery, that's the part of this story that I didn't expect. That's the part that taught me what it really means to be family. If you've ever had to make a choice that wasn't about revenge, type choose in the comments. Let me know you understand. The donation was scheduled for 3 weeks later. I flew back to New York. I went to work. I saw my patients. I lived my life. But everything was different now. I had made a choice. I had decided to save my niece's life. I had decided to be the person who gives instead of the person who takes. The transplant team at Sloan Kettering coordinated with the team in Miami. I would donate my stem cells in New York. They would be flown to Miami. Sophia would receive them there. We wouldn't be in the same room. We wouldn't see each other. But my cells would become part of her. My blood would become her blood. My life would become her future. I thought about that. About the strangeness of it. About the intimacy of it. About the way that biology doesn't care about betrayal or forgiveness or the years of silence between sisters. Biology only cares about matches. About compatibility. About the chance to create something new. I was a match for Sophia. Not because I was her aunt. Not because I shared her DNA. but because I was the person who could save her. The only person. I started the filgrastim injections 5 days before the harvest. 4 shots a day. I did them myself. I'd given 1,000 shots to patients. Giving them to yourself was different. The needle went into the soft tissue of my abdomen. The first one stung. By the 3rd day, my bones ached. Deep, persistent pain in my hips, my spine, my sternum. The stem cells were being pushed out of my marrow, flooding into my bloodstream. It worked. It always worked. But it hurt. I didn't complain. I'd had patients who complained. I'd had donors who cried from the bone pain, who asked for stronger painkillers, who wondered out loud if it was worth it. I understood now. The pain wasn't unbearable. But it was constant. A dull, grinding ache that followed you everywhere. That made you tired. That made you want to lie down and not get up. I thought about Sophia. About the months of chemotherapy she had endured. The nausea, the mouth sores, the infections, the endless nights in a hospital bed. The bone pain from filgrastim was nothing. Nothing at all. But it connected me to her. A small, physical reminder that what I was doing mattered. The morning of the harvest, I walked into the apheresis unit at Sloan Kettering. The same unit where my patients had come to donate. The same chairs where strangers sat for hours, giving their cells to people they'd never meet. I was assigned a chair near the window. The nurse who set up my line was a woman named Teresa. She'd been doing stem cell collections for 20 years. She knew what she was doing. Her hands were gentle. Her voice was calm. "You're donating for your niece?" she asked as she inserted the needle into my left arm. "I am." "Pediatric patient?" "Yes." "Leukemia." "She's 7." Teresa nodded. "I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen miracles happen. I've seen children who had no hope walk out of this hospital with a future. Your cells are going to give her that chance." I watched my blood flow through the tubing into the apheresis machine. The centrifuge spinning, separating the stem cells from the rest of my blood, returning everything else back into my right arm. "She's going to make it," I said. "She has to." Teresa patted my shoulder. "With a match like yours? She's got the best chance in the world." The collection took 5 hours. I sat in the chair, my arms extended, watching the machine do its work. I thought about Camila. About the sister who had betrayed me. About the mother who was waiting in a hospital room in Miami, hoping for a miracle. I thought about Sophia. About the little girl I had met only once. About the child who had asked me if I could help her. About the answer I had given her. "I'm going to try. I'm going to do everything I can." I thought about Daniel. About the man who had promised to love me. About the man who had chosen my sister instead. About the man who was now watching his daughter die. I thought about the years of anger. The years of silence. The years of carrying the weight of what they had done to me. And I thought about what it meant to let go. When the machine stopped, Teresa disconnected me. She held up the collection bag. It was full of pale pink liquid. Stem cells. My stem cells. The cells that would become Sophia's new immune system. Her new blood. Her new chance at life. 8.2 million CD34 positive cells per kilogram, Teresa said. "That's a beautiful number. She's going to do great." She labeled the bag. Sofia Vasquez. Recipient ID, 4421. Donor, Dr. Elena Vasquez. I looked at my name. At her name. At the connection between us that was now written on a label. "Thank you," I said. "Thank you for everything." Teresa smiled. "Go home and rest. You've done something amazing today." The transplant happened the next day. I wasn't in the room. I was in New York. Sophia was in Miami. But I imagined it. I imagined the bag of my cells hanging from a pole. I imagined the pale pink liquid flowing into her veins. I imagined her body accepting the gift I had given her, making it part of herself, building something new. Camila called me that evening. She was crying. I could hear it in her voice. "Elena," she said. "It's done. The transplant is done. The doctors say it went perfectly. They say her body is already accepting the cells. They say," she stopped. She couldn't finish. "She's going to be okay," I said. "They say there's a chance. A real chance. They say if she gets through the next few weeks without complications, she could make a full recovery." "That's good. That's what we wanted." She was quiet for a moment. I heard her breathing. I heard her trying to find words. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "I don't know how to say what this means. You saved my daughter's life. You saved my life. You saved everything. You don't have to thank me," I said. "I didn't do it for you. I did it for her. She deserved a chance. That's all." "I know," she said. "I know. But I'm going to thank you anyway. Every day. For the rest of my life." The weeks that followed were hard. Sophia's body was fighting. The new cells were engrafting, but it was a slow process. There were fevers. There were infections. There were days when Camila called me, crying, telling me that she didn't know if Sophia would make it. I listened. I didn't have answers. I didn't have magic words. I just listened. "You're a doctor," Camila said one night. "You know about these things. Tell me she's going to be okay." "I can't tell you that," I said. "No one can. But I can tell you that she's fighting. I can tell you that her body is strong. I can tell you that she has a chance. A real chance. And that's more than she had before." "Before you," Camila said. "Before you gave her your cells. Before the transplant," I said. "It wasn't me. It was science. It was medicine. It was the thing I've dedicated my life to." "It was you," Camila said. "It was always you." The call came on a Thursday. I was in my office, reviewing a patient's chart. My phone rang. Camila's name lit up the screen. "Elena," she said. Her voice was different. Lighter. The way voices sound when something has changed, when something has gotten better. "What happened?" "The doctors just came by. Sophia's neutrophil count is rising. The cells are engrafting. They say she's out of the danger zone. They say she's going to make it." I sat at my desk. I looked at the window. The city was bright with sun. The buildings were tall. The sky was blue. "She's going to make it," I said. "She's going to make it. Because of you. Because you gave her a chance. Because you saved her life." I didn't say anything. I didn't know what to say. I had saved children before. I had watched them walk out of the hospital with their parents, healthy and whole. I had celebrated their recoveries, cried with their families, felt the joy of a life saved. But this was different. This was my niece. This was my blood. This was the daughter of the sister who had broken me. And I had saved her. I had chosen to save her. I had given her a chance to live. "I want to see her," I said. "When she's better. When she's out of the hospital. I want to see her." Camila was quiet for a moment. I heard her crying. "She'd like that," she said. "She'd like that very much." I flew to Miami 6 months later. Sophia was out of the hospital. Her hair was growing back. Her cheeks had color. She was running and playing and being a 7-year-old girl. Camila picked me up at the airport. She was different. Softer. Smaller. The hardness that had been in her face was gone. What was left was something I hadn't seen before. Peace. Thank you for coming, she said. Thank you for inviting me. We drove to their house. It was a small house in a quiet neighborhood. There were flowers in the front yard. A swing set in the back. The kind of house where children grow up and families make memories. Sophia was waiting on the porch. She saw me get out of the car. She ran to me. She threw her arms around me. Aunt Elena, she said. You came. I came. She pulled back. She looked at me. Her eyes were my eyes. Her smile was Camila's smile. Thank you for saving my life, she said. Mommy told me what you did. She said you gave me your blood. She said it's inside me now. She said we're connected. I crouched down so I was at her level. I looked at her. At this little girl who had fought so hard to live. At this child who was my family. We are connected, I said. We always were. I just didn't know it. She smiled. She took my hand. She pulled me toward the house. Come inside, she said. Mommy made cookies. She's not very good at it. But she tried. I looked at Camila. She was standing on the porch, her hands in her pockets, her face wet with tears. She's right, I said. You were never good at baking. Camila laughed. It was a real laugh. The kind of laugh that comes from somewhere deep, somewhere that has been waiting to be heard. I know, she said. But I'm trying. I'm trying to be better at everything. We sat in the kitchen. The same kind of kitchen where we had grown up. The same kind of table where we had eaten dinner as children. The same kind of light coming through the window. Sophia told me about school, about her friends, about the things she wanted to do when she got older. She wanted to be a doctor. Like me. She wanted to help people. She wanted to save lives. You can do that, I said. You can do anything you want. Even if I'm scared? Especially if you're scared. That's when it matters most. She nodded. She seemed to understand. After dinner, after Sophia went to bed, Camila and I sat on the porch. The stars were out. The night was quiet. I've been seeing a therapist, Camila said. For a year now. I've been trying to understand why I did what I did. Why I hurt you. Why I broke our family. Did you figure it out? She was quiet for a moment. She looked at the stars. I was jealous, she said. I was jealous of you. You were going to be someone. You were going to be a doctor. You were going to change the world. And I was just the pretty one. The one who didn't have a future. She looked at me. Her eyes were wet. I thought if I could take something from you, something you loved, I would feel better. I thought if I could have what you had, I would be happy. But I wasn't. I was miserable. I've been miserable for 10 years. Every time I looked at Daniel, I saw you. Every time I looked at Sophia, I thought about what I had done. I couldn't escape it. I couldn't escape you. You didn't try, I said. You didn't call. You didn't apologize. You didn't try to make it right. I know. I was too ashamed. I thought if I stayed away, you would heal. I thought if I disappeared, you would forget. I was wrong. I was so wrong. She took my hand. Her hand was warm. Her hand was shaking. I'm sorry, Elena. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for the years I took from you. I'm sorry for the sister I could have been. I'm sorry for everything. I looked at her. At the sister who had betrayed me. At the mother who had begged me to save her child. At the woman who was sitting beside me, crying, asking for my forgiveness. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said. I don't know if I ever will. But I want you to know something. I saved Sophia because she deserved a chance. Not because of you. Not because of Daniel. Because of her. Because she's innocent. Because she's a child. Because she deserves to live. Camila nodded. She didn't say anything. And I want to be part of her life, I said. I want to watch her grow up. I want to be her aunt. I want to be the person she can count on. Not because of you. Because of her. Camila started to cry. She put her arms around me. She held me. I held her. We sat on the porch, under the stars, the sisters who had been broken and were trying to find their way back. Thank you, she said. Thank you for giving her a chance. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for being the person you are. Here's where I need to pause. Because what happened next, the years that followed, the changes that came, the thing I finally understood, that's the part of this story that taught me what it really means to be family. If you've ever had to find your way back to someone you thought you had lost forever, type found in the comments. Let me know you understand. The years after Sophia's transplant were different. Not perfect. Nothing about healing is perfect. But different. I started coming to Miami for birthdays and holidays. I watched Sophia grow from a sick little girl into a healthy, happy child. I watched her hair grow back, her cheeks fill out, her laughter become louder and more frequent. I watched Camila change. Slowly. The way a garden changes after a long winter. First there was nothing. Then there was a hint of green. Then there were shoots, small and tentative, pushing through the soil. Then there was color. Then there was life. She stopped being the person who had betrayed me. She started being someone else. Someone who was trying. Someone who was learning. Someone who was becoming the sister I had always wanted her to be. We didn't talk about the past. Not at first. It was too raw, too painful, too close to the surface. We talked about Sophia. About her school, her friends, her dreams. We talked about our parents. About the memories we shared, the good ones, the ones that hadn't been tainted by what happened. We talked about the future. About the things we wanted to build. About the family we wanted to create. And slowly, without either of us noticing, we became sisters again. Not the way we had been before. That was gone. That was never coming back. But something new. Something different. Something that was built on the ashes of what had been destroyed. Sophia started calling me every week. She would tell me about her day, about her friends, about the things that mattered to a little girl who was growing up too fast. She would ask me about my work, about my patients, about the children I was helping. Do you ever get sad? She asked one day. When the kids don't get better? Sometimes, I said. It's hard. It's always hard. But I keep going. Because the ones who do get better, they make it all worth it. Like me, she said. I got better. Like you, I said. You got better. She was quiet for a moment. I heard her thinking. I'm glad you're my aunt, she said. I'm glad you're in my life. I'm glad too, I said. I'm glad too. Camila and I had our first real conversation about the past on the 3rd anniversary of Sophia's transplant. We were sitting on the porch of her house, watching the sun set. The sky was orange and pink and purple. The world was quiet. I'd been thinking about what happened, she said. About what I did. About the person I was. I didn't say anything. I waited. I was so scared, she said. I was scared of being nothing. I was scared of being invisible. I was scared that everyone would forget about me. And you were so brilliant. You were so successful. You were everything I wasn't. And I couldn't handle it. She looked at me. Her eyes were wet. I thought if I could take something from you, something you loved, I would feel better. I thought if I could have what you had, I would be happy. But I wasn't. I was miserable. I've been miserable for years. Every time I looked at Daniel, I saw you. Every time I looked at Sophia, I thought about what I had done. I couldn't escape it. Why didn't you say something? I asked. Why didn't you reach out? Because I was ashamed. Because I thought you would never forgive me. Because I thought I didn't deserve to be forgiven. Because I was a coward. She took a breath. She wiped her eyes. I'm not a coward anymore, she said. I'm not the same person I was. I've spent years trying to be someone else. Someone better. Someone who deserves to be your sister. I looked at her. At the sister who had betrayed me. At the mother who had begged me to save her child. At the woman who was sitting beside me, crying, asking for my forgiveness. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said. I don't know if I ever will. But I want you to know something. I don't hate you anymore. I don't carry the anger the way I used to. I've let it go. Not because you deserve it. Because I do. Because I deserve to be free. She started to cry. She put her arms around me. She held me. I held her. Thank you, she said. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for saving my daughter. Thank you for being the person you are. Daniel and I never became friends. We never had a conversation about what happened. We never apologized to each other. We didn't need to. He was Sophia's father. I was Sophia's aunt. That was the only connection we had. That was enough. I saw him at birthdays and holidays. He was polite. He was distant. He was the ghost of the man I had once loved. I didn't feel anything when I looked at him. Not anger. Not sadness. Not longing. Just nothing. He was a stranger. He had always been a stranger. I just hadn't known it. Camila and I built something new. Not the relationship we had before. That was gone. That was never coming back. But something else. Something that was built on honesty and effort and the shared love of a little girl who had brought us back together. We talked on the phone every week. We visited each other. We celebrated holidays together. We were sisters. Not the way we had been before. But sisters nonetheless. Sophia turned 10. Then 11. Then 12. She grew tall. She grew strong. She grew into the person she was meant to be. She got straight A's. She played soccer. She made friends. She was happy. She called me one night, crying. I could hear it in her voice. Aunt Elena, she said. I got into a fight with my friend. She said something mean. She said I was weird because I don't have a dad. She stopped. She was crying too hard to continue. Listen to me, I said. You are not weird. You are not strange. You are perfect exactly the way you are. And you have a dad. He loves you. He's not good at showing it. But he loves you. But he's never there. He's always working. He's always traveling. He never comes to my games. He never comes to my school plays. He doesn't care about me. Your dad loves you, I said. He's broken. He's been broken for a long time. And he doesn't know how to fix himself. But that's not your fault. That's not your responsibility. You just have to be you. You just have to be the amazing person you are. She was quiet for a moment. I heard her breathing. I wish you were my mom, she said. I sat in my apartment. I looked at the window. The city was dark. The lights were on in the buildings across the street. I'm your aunt, I said. And I love you. And I'm always going to be here for you. No matter what. I love you too, she said. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for giving me a reason to. Here's what I've learned. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about letting go of something that was never yours to carry. It's about choosing to be free. It's about building a life that is yours, a life that no one can take away, a life that is enough. Camila took something from me. She took my fiancé. She took my trust. She took years of my life that I spent trying to rebuild. But I built something new. I built a career that was mine. I built a reputation that was mine. I built a life that was mine. And when she came to me, broken and desperate, I didn't turn her away. I saved her daughter's life. I gave her a second chance. I let her be part of my life. Not because she deserved it. But because Sophia deserved it. Because Sophia deserved a chance to live. Because Sophia deserved to have a family that loved her. I didn't forgive Camila. Not the way you think. I didn't wake up one day and decide to let go of the anger. I didn't have a moment of clarity where I understood what she did and why. I didn't find peace in the knowledge that she was sorry. But I let go. I let go because I was tired. I was tired of carrying something that wasn't mine to carry. I was tired of being angry at someone who didn't matter anymore. I was tired of being the person who was broken. I was tired of being the person who couldn't move on. I let go. And when I let go, I realized something. The person who broke me was not the person who saved me. I was the one who saved me. I was the one who built a life from nothing. I was the one who became someone. I was the one who let go. I am Dr. Elena Vasquez. I am 38 years old. I am a pediatric oncologist at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I save children's lives. I help families hope. I do work that matters. I am also a sister. A sister to a woman who betrayed me. A sister to a woman who is trying to be better. A sister to a woman who loves her daughter more than anything in the world. I am also an aunt. An aunt to a little girl who almost died. An aunt to a little girl who lived. An aunt to a little girl who carries my cells in her body, who has my blood in her veins, who is connected to me in ways that can never be undone. I am enough. I have always been enough. I just didn't know it. Sophia is 15 now. She's in high school. She's on the soccer team. She's getting straight A's. She's talking about college, about becoming a doctor, about saving lives the way I save lives. She called me last week. She was excited. She had just finished her biology homework. She was learning about genetics, about DNA, about the way traits are passed from parents to children. Aunt Elena, she said. Did you know that bone marrow donors share their DNA with their recipients? The recipient's blood type actually changes to match the donor's. I know, I said. It's amazing, isn't it? It's more than amazing. It's like, we're connected now. In a real way. In a scientific way. In a way that can never be undone. We are connected, I said. We always were. I just didn't know it. She was quiet for a moment. I heard her smiling. I'm glad you're my aunt, she said. I'm glad you're in my life. I'm glad too, I said. I'm glad too. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, if you've ever had to choose between revenge and redemption, if you've ever wondered if you would ever be whole again, I want you to know something. You will be whole. You will build something new. You will become someone that no one can touch. Not because you forget what happened, but because you choose to be free. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. You don't have to be the person who gives second chances. But you do have to be the person who shows up for yourself. Who fights for yourself. Who builds a life that is yours. And when the moment comes, when you have the chance to let go of the anger, the hurt, the weight of what was done to you, I hope you take it. Not because they deserve it. Because you do. Because you deserve to be free. My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez. I save lives. I give second chances. I let go. And I am free. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever had to choose between revenge and redemption, leave a comment. Tell me your story. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. I have more stories to tell. And I want you to be here for them. My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez. I am enough. I have always been enough. And so are you.